Hi everybody, it's Christina from Pretty Distressed. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the opposite of what you normally see on here. I am actually going to be stripping paint off a piece of furniture that I painted a while back. If you are new here, I am a furniture painter and refinisher, and what that means is I'm usually taking things that I find around my house or things that I get on the cheap and I'm making them over into new creations. If you like what you see here, please think about subscribing before you leave. It's really easy. All you have to do is click that subscribe button and hit that little bell next to it and you'll be notified anytime one of my videos goes live. Make sure you check out prettydistressed.com. I just recently updated that, so it's a lot easier to get around the site now. I have all my work up there. I have my blog archived on there for some old projects, and I actually am doing some one-on-one coaching. So I have a consultation services tab. If you are needing a jump start or you're stuck on a project and just need some more individual one-on-one coaching, I'm offering different levels of consultation on there. If you are not following me on Instagram, you are missing out because I always do behind the scenes on my stories on there. So you're gonna see all my projects on there before they go live here on YouTube. So make sure you're giving me a follow. That is all the announcements I have for today. So if you want to see how easy it is to strip paint off of a piece of furniture, just keep watching. So if you are new here, anybody who's been around my channel for a while knows that I love painted furniture. I've been doing it for a few years now. I've refinished for clients. I've painted almost every piece of furniture that's in my house. Furniture painting has become really popular over the last few years. I think especially with, the whole fixer-upper craze. But furniture painting has actually been around for a long time. It was really popular in the 18th century among the French, the Italians, and the Swedish. But it's like any trend. Trends come and they go, they come back in and they go back out. But what happens down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, when everything is painted and I'm just sick of it? I don't think that day will come, but it might. So it got me thinking, how easy or how hard is it gonna be to get this paint off my furniture? And so today I'm going to take an end table that I did way back in the day when I first started chalk painting that I got from Goodwill for like $5, and I'm gonna strip the paint off. I'm gonna see how easy it is. I'm gonna use a chemical stripper and I'm gonna use my orbital sander, and we'll just see how long it takes me and if we can get it back to its original condition of wood. I'm gonna grab all my stuff and I will zoom you in. The first thing I'm going to use to try to get this paint off is a paint stripper, and this is Citrus Strip. I'm putting on my latex gloves and my vapor respirator as well as some goggles. I've used this in other videos. I just pour it into a stainless steel bowl and then put it on with a cheap chip brush. You just paint it on and then you wait for 30 minutes and then you're able to start scraping it off. I get really impatient and I always start stripping before it's ready. So here I am with just a plastic putty knife. It's my favorite thing to get this off. And then I just catch everything on a paper plate so it's easy to throw away. And because I didn't wait long enough, this wasn't coming off so well. But when I moved to the side and actually let the stripper set and do the work, it came off a lot easier. So as you can see, this paint is coming off in nice big chunks, and that's the way it should work. So be patient. Don't be impatient like me. And then once I get most of those big globs off, I take a steel wool that is really coarse and just dip some stripper on there and then just rub kind of all that excess off. It'll start loosening a lot of that paint that gets stuck on there. And then I usually do a second pass, so I'm just hitting up my trouble spots where I had a lot more paint sticking and going back in for a second scrape. And using that steel wool again dipped in the stripper to kind of get the tough spots off. And then to get all that stuck on paint residue off, I use denatured alcohol. You can use mineral spirits too, and so I just rub this all off and it helps get that gunky white stuff that you see on there off of there. The other half of the table, I'm going to sand it with my orbital sander. I'm using an 80 grit sanding pad, and then I switched out my respirator pads for particle ones. And I'm just going to give this a sand and try to strip this paint off with my sander. This is kind of less messy, but it creates way more dust. So it's just kind of depends on what kind of mess you want to clean up. But the thing that kind of stinks about using the sander is, as you can see, I can't get in these corners with this rounded edge. I don't have a fancy sander. This is all I have. So I was finding it really difficult to get stuff off. I had to do a lot of hand sanding, and then I just finally kind of gave up and decided to get more stripper out and just use that to get in these cracks and crevices. So going back again, I think I would have just used stripper on the whole thing, because the sander just couldn't get into those little cracks and crevices. I even had to get out my brass brush and kind of scrub in these cracks and curves to get all that paint off. And then I rubbed it down again with that denatured alcohol to get all that residue of the citrus strip off. And I let that dry for 24 hours and then sanded the whole piece. So this is completely stripped of paint, but if I wanted to add a stain at this point, I would need to do some additional sanding, just depending on what type of finish you're going for and what type of product you're working with. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet, so I'm just leaving it in its bare state for right now. So it is possible to strip chalk paint off of a piece of furniture. Is it easy? I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy, but can it be done? Yes. It probably took me a total of like, I don't know, 6 hours. This is a really small piece, so I can't imagine like how much this hutch would take, like how long this hutch would take to strip down. But I think I prefer using the stripper in tandem with the sander, because the sander I have a big orbital sander. If you had a smaller, more detailed one, I think it would be easier to get into those cracks and crevices. Again, I'm a DIYer. I am not a professional woodworker, so I'm sure there's easier and better ways to do this with like more expensive tools that I just don't have, but it definitely is doable to strip paint. So that is it for today's video. You guys, thanks for watching it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I will be back painting furniture soon. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping painting. We're still going strong. Hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time.